like my friend's band needed a singer, and he heard me like singing at Goldfinger show.
Okay,
that we
nice.
went to. And I was just like singing along to like No Effects that they were playing in between, and I was like goofing around, like just singing to everybody. And he was like, "Dude, I saw you sing at the show," and he like asked me at the skate park, like it was
Really?
like something out of like a movie.
That's
you should
hilarious.
sing in my band, man. And yeah, and then so we had this band called Another Heather.
Okay.
It was like a fun punk band. It was kind of ska, like
Right.
around that same time when we were just like 1996, 97,
Great
where it was sort of
fucking
just like,
music,
oh,
yeah.
Suicide Machines,
Right.
like Less Than Jake, like kind of all this
Real Big
stuff.
Fish, all
yeah,
those
Real Big
guys.
Fish,
Yeah.
Blink-182. But it was just like, oh, but everything's rad. Like there wasn't like, oh, you listen to ska, so you have to wear like a suit. Like it wasn't that. It was just like, oh, this is all just punk.
Yeah.
And we all just like hang out and listen to it.
Yeah, because it was like the 90s was a weird time for punk there because like I remember like to me everything was fucking punk. Like I mean now everything kind of
No,
still
but
is
that
punk.
like definition.
Yeah.
Because there was weird. I remember telling this
like
story the
Guar
other day.
was punk to me.
Guar was punk. I mean, they identify as being punk.
Right.
But also, I remember going to see Rancid with Rocket from the Crypt supporting.
Right.
And I was like, well, that's punk.
Yeah,
Because
well-
like nothing gets more punk than Rancid. So like obviously these two bands are punk on the same. Because I'm 16 and I'm like, well, this has to be punk.
Well,
Whereas
that's
like
when I saw Guar, it was with Guar and Mephistopheles.
yeah.
So like, right?
And Guar has horns,
Right.
And it's like punk, and they're making fun of metal, and you're like, yeah, this is punk,
Right.
Okay. But I'm with that. Like, there was so much that I didn't understand at that time what hardcore was.
Right.
So like, you're listening to bands, like hearing like, I'm trying to think of like early hardcore bands. Like you would hear like Warzone and Black Flag and
Sure.
like stuff like that, like Circle Jerks, and no one was like, this is a hardcore band.
Yeah, because it was still just punk. Black Flag, I will always just consider to be punk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that was how we all just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
this is just punk.
All the same
Until
shit.
like you.
The only thing that started to step outside for me is there was a drummer that came up around the same time as I did, and he started getting into like full on noise.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, like that was where you saw. So for us, the big one was when like bands like, so our ska band, our like punk ska band would play with like hardcore bands. So that was where there was like this big, so they were like, you know, mixing bills, and obviously our punk band did really well, so it was like, oh, you guys should come and play. And one of the shows was Countdown to Oblivion.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, like Another Heather and Countdown to Oblivion are gonna play, and it'll be sick. And there was this band like they had two singers, they had balaclavas on, like they were playing Slayer riffs like in between like parts, like it was chaos.
Right.
And the singer, like Chris Callahan, was like terrorizing like everyone, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
And like we like broke up our punk band like right after that.
Really?
Because we were just like, oh well, everything that we're doing is like like total bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, in comparison to this. And it was as we were like starting to listen to all that stuff. So it was
Right.
like seeing that band, but also like listening to Youth of Today, and also like listening to H2O, and
Just like, fuck it, we're done.
because I was just like, oh yeah, like this is just like now. This was more when I was like 18, you know, like 19, and I'm pretty sure it was when I was 18. Because then we broke that band up, and we're starting a hardcore band.
So you broke the band up and started this like with the same group of guys?
Same group of guys. We got a second singer. So my
Right.
friend, who I'm still like really good friends with, came in and became the singer. The guitar player became the drummer.
Okay.
We got a different, you know, like that kind of
Just
like,
shuffled everything, like, fuck it, just
and
change
we were just
everything.
like, we just want to sound like Snapcase. We just want to sound like, you
Yeah.
know, like Victory Records
Okay.
in like 1999. Like
Yeah.
Grade, like that, all that stuff was happening, like
Yeah.
98, 99, like kind of like, but we were also, at that same time, there's like Deftones and like
Yeah.
all of like Quicksand and like all of that is happening. So you're just like, music is crazy.
Everywhere.
We need to like, we can't play punk rock ska anymore.
Right.
Like even AFI doesn't sound like AFI anymore. Like
Yeah.
everything was shifting.